Okay, let's talk about the push-up. Okay, so the push-up is going to be modified for our body weight in a little different ways, but the actual form is the same regardless of how we modify. Okay, so when we do a push-up, we want that chest and torso and thighs all coming down at the same time and all coming up at the same time, okay? We want to make sure, what I say is, no one wins the race, okay? So we're not going to get our head out there and try to touch our forehead first, right? We're not going to try and get our chest there first. No one wins the race. It's all down, all up. That is what we're looking for. Now, the way we're going to modify is how much weight we're going to push into that. The other thing is that you will hear a lot, especially if you're in certain organizations, that you'll hear that there's only one way to put your hands for that push-up, that you're only going to want about 45 degrees of that abduction, and it's right there. Okay. There is a difference in each of our bodies. We feel a little bit different for every movement, and there is a range that we say is safe and correct, but there is a range depending on what feels good for your body. Okay, so what I want to make sure you're not way winging out, but you can come all the way up to 80, 90 degrees of abduction, all the way down to your side. Now, you are going to target muscles a little bit differently. You're going to get a lot more of that tricep push-up, okay? And we're going to get a little bit more chest out here, but we are not going to damage the shoulder. If it doesn't feel good, don't go in that movement pattern. I tend to be out a little bit farther. I've always had some shoulder issues. It's a lot more stable for me with my shoulder. I feel good with it. Now, other people feel good closer. Don't get caught up with that. I want you to feel where it feels good. Now, sometimes in the workout, I will target just us doing a tricep, or I'll target just a little bit wider. But most of the time, it's a push-up that makes you feel good. Okay, so how you do that push-up will depend a little bit. So I'm gonna start you on the toes. That is going to be the hardest way. And then I'm gonna show you how we make it easier and easier and easier as we go. Okay, so down on the ground, I am going to put my toes and I'm gonna actively put them in. I'm gonna tuck that pelvis in and I'm gonna have my arms about shoulder width apart. Mine are a little bit wider than that because that's where I feel good in. And again, we're gonna play around with that and we're gonna make sure that neck is neutral and not looking up and not looking down. We're gonna come all the way down and all the way up. Again, no one's winning the race. Okay, my chest, torso, and thighs are coming all the way down and they're coming all the way up. Okay, I got that tilted pelvis, my toes are activated, and I've got a nice, strong shoulder movement. Now, that can be really challenging. That is all my body weight. So how do I make that less? Just like when we drop down dumbbell weight as we get tired or that's our weight we can control, we're gonna do the same thing with our body weight. So I'm gonna do the same thing, but this time, instead of being on my toes, I'm gonna go right here on my knees. Okay, I'm gonna still have that nice, good positioning. My chest, torso, thighs, all the way down and all the way up. It is the exact same movement, except I am on my knees, and now I've lessened that body weight. Again, I'm not gonna try and rock it. I'm not gonna try and get one thing out there before the other, right? It's all the way down and all the way up. Okay, that can still be challenging for people. Next step is going to be on an elevated surface. Okay, same idea. We're coming all the way down and all the way up. Again, it's that torso, thighs, chest, head, all in one motion, down and up, okay? And then to lessen that even more, I'm going to do the same thing on a wall. I'm gonna come all the way down and all the way up, okay? I'm coming all the way down and all the way up. Boom, down and up. Giving me that full motion, just lessening the body weight. There's nothing wrong. It's just like when we move from a 20-pound down to a 10-pound, right? It is the same movement pattern. Now, can we do things a little bit differently? Sometimes we might do a tricep push-up where we do a nice and close and back and up. Sometimes I've also done the chaturanga Okay, I've gone over that and I've come down and up. And sometimes I've gone over, down, and up. So when you are progressing from one to the next movement, okay, so let's say you can do a couple of toes, then you move down to some knees. You can also build that strength up. So a lot of times what we can do is we can go down, down, down onto my knees, push it back up. Okay, I'm on my toes. I'm going down, down, down onto my knees, push it back. Okay, so that is that progression that I can move into it. So maybe I start on my knees. Later, as I build in some strength, I can't do my toes the whole time, but I can go down from my toes and then I go to my knees and push that back up. Then eventually I get to my toes and are able to control that. Okay, so those are the ways we modify an appropriate push-up so that we really get that nice, good, it's the same pattern. I do not care where you are located at. It's the same pattern. It's the same muscle group. It's just lessening that body weight. Hope that helps. Have a great day.